What's up guys, Megazard here, and today I'm going to be bringing you more of that quality competitive content that this channel is known for, if I was known at all, or produced quality competitive content, I guess, because honestly it feels like lately I've been doing a whole lot of not doing any videos or any good content at all, really. I've really done a lot of that. But this is gonna be better. Okay, so kicking it off tour is just the first Uber's tournament of the new generation. It's just a regular sub-form tour. Uber seasonals are gonna be starting up soon, so I'm also gonna be joining that. But this is just a regular tournament, and this is the semifinals, as I assume I'll put in the title, versus my good friend, Dontstealmypenguin. And this was gonna be a pretty interesting series because prior to this series, I hadn't been trying at all. I had been bringing the same squads I knew were meme joke squads with Celebrate, Ho-Oh, and whatever. And I'd been winning, got a little lucky in earlier rounds. I beat Mel, the person from the last round, fair and square, however much salt that dude had. But for this one, I finally decided to prepare, because Dontstealmypenguin had also been putting what looked like relatively less effort. He'd been bringing basically the same squad every single time. So game one, Leru actually helped me build a little bit of a counter team to the same squad he brought, which was really weak to Mega Lucario, which is what I used. Unfortunately, he actually brought something new for like the first time this entire tournament, so I don't have the luxury of that counter team. But I am running Mega Lucario, Arceus Rock is the form, and then the rest of it's a pretty basic Ho-Oh, Rock Groudon, Scarf Xerneas, and Hex T-Wave Giratina O. On his side, Zygarde is definitely a bit of an issue. My last two mons check it here, and then like the first four just kind of die to it. Lunala, I have no real resists. I can just sort of check it with Ho-Oh, Arceus Rock, Groudon, but none of them are like full, complete, permanent game resists. And then his own Mega Lucario is a bit dicey, but I definitely have Giratina Ho-Oh to play around it, so like I have checks to most of his things in some form or another, not of another. My own Ho-Oh, though, is actually going to be pretty useful as a wall breaker. Only Zygarde wants to switch into it, so I can kind of play with that. That was sort of my goal. If I wanted to like play with any mon coming in, it would definitely be Ho-Oh here. But there's nothing too serious, too crazy from the matchup, as far as I know. Obviously, I'm not really much of an Uber's player, so I could be completely wrong, but I figured just hop right into it. I'm just gonna lead Ho-Oh as he leads Groudon. I'm like, well, that seems like pretty fair. I assume he's gonna click Stealth Rock turn 1, so I'm just gonna click Earthquake. I don't think he'd Rock Slide turn 1. I just don't. He does Stealth Rock, and then I figure he's probably gonna save his Groudon. So I click Sacred Fire as he goes directly into Yveltal, takes a buttload of damage. No burn, unfortunately, which would have been very nice, but turn 2, I'm pretty happy with how things are going. I can just go right into my Roxas. Things are just generally going alright, So, I feel like expressing my confidence, because I'm going to play with some confidence here, and that's kind of going to show. So I'm going to Judgment as he goes to Zygarde, and I figure, you know what? I feel pretty safe. I'm just going to click Will-O-Wisp, staying in on that Zygarde as he glares, and I'm paralyzing. That's not fun, but burned Zygarde is less threatening Zygarde, so that's nice. He goes to Lucario, as I'm just going to click Recover, feeling pretty safe, and at this point I just assume he's going to Sword Stance or Double. I did not think he would straight close combat when I have Giratina, so I'm going to pull off the Wisp. Catching Lunala is nice, I guess. It's a special attacker, but I definitely get him to get played. He got played there a little. I did try to recover just the Scout, so unfortunately I am going to be a bit weak and forced to recover here as he goes to Lucario. And then at this point, I'm going to play arguably two content, but I figured, you know what, he's still probably going to Predont. He doesn't, which is perfectly fair. To go into Giratina was way safer there, but I didn't do that. Sack my Roxas. Now I can get Giratina in, and I do need rocks off the field, so I'm just going to pull off the Defog, even though he has the Yveltal there. I really just do have to go Xerneas. I don't want anything dead yet. I don't want Ho-Oh taking a ton of damage, and Xerneas is relatively safe on this, so I am in a Moonblast. It does have a good chance to 2K Groudon here. A chance it's slightly in my favor. Unfortunately, I'm going to get a min damage roll right there. Really sucks, because what happens is I'm going to go to Giratina, figuring he's pretty safe. He's going to rock, so I can just defog. Unfortunately, he's running a fast Groudon with Toxic. Not common. It does make him weaker to Xerneas. But he has Lucario, I assume that's what that's for. So what is going to happen is he's going to be able to get rocks up, as I have the Ho-Oh and my Giratina is weakened. And that one scenario there, above anything else in this game, is definitely what puts him ahead. The reveal of the faster Groudon with Toxic really catches me off guard there. He could have gone to Yveltal, and in hindsight, I just don't know why he didn't. I feel like going Yveltal, clicking Dark Pulse was pretty safe play. He decides Lunala is the play instead, which at least lets me go Groudon, which just isn't really doing anything here. I just don't particularly need it, as he's going to Moon the Ice Beam. Excuse me. And goes Zygarde, as I just felt kind of safe clicking Lava Plume. And I figure right here, yeah, this on paper isn't good, but I have Dragon Tail, not Roar, and his 1,000 Arrows Wall Burn isn't going to do that much to me, so what I want is I'm going to get at Rocks, even though I plan to defog later, just to pressure the Yveltal even more, and put it in range of Lucario's Bullet Punch if it comes to that. And it also lets me scout out what this Zygarde's going to do, so I feel pretty safe about making that play, as he actually does try to pull a double here into Yveltal. Oh no, I just straight Dragon Tail, never mind. I straight Dragon Tail, and then here I'm going to set up Rocks. And I Dragon Tail because it would put him below 50%, and he isn't going to get the Zygarde complete form if he's phased out. So yeah, here I'm going to Rocks. And then I'm just explaining the game plan, because obviously staying in on a Zygarde looks a little silly, but as you can see, that only does 17%, not really a problem. And he's phased out without getting complete form, so anything I have can kill him the next time he comes in. He does get phased into Lucario, which isn't necessarily ideal, because I would have loved to know what Arceus form he is beforehand. But basically, I have to go Ho-Oh here, and I make a really stupid play, and I just don't recover. There was no reason not to recover. There was no way he was staying in and Swords Dancing, but I don't do it. I can't really explain that one. I'm just like, yeah, I better pull the Sacred Fire trigger. There was no good reason to do that. He's going to go Zygarde, and then this is the most unfortunate part of the game, honestly. He's going to Glare, and I get fully paralyzed, and he activates Complete Form. Which, you know, Zygarde was supposed to be a non-threat, and I honestly think if I didn't get the full pair there, I would have won the game. But instead, what I'm doing is force directly out, and yeah, there's really nothing I can do about that on this side. Zygarde is still not alive. Being fast and having Glare. He's going to leave it in on Giratina, as I'm just going to get rid of the Rocks for Ho-Oh, and then I'm going to try to just pull a Draco, see how much that does. Doesn't kill, though. And I know he's going to rest next turn, so I figure, you know what, I might as well save Giratina. There's no reason not to. I can just go directly into Xerneas, because he also can't really switch into Xerneas right here. As he is obviously just going to rest up. And yeah, I really needed his Zygarde dead. It just had to be dead here. Lunala comes out as Moonblast, does a lot, and I know he's Scarf, just based on how he's been playing it. And I have no clue if Lunala would run Timid Scarf. If it is, it could be faster than Xerneas. I didn't feel like it was necessary to risk it, and I wanted Xerneas to not take the damage, because I would put in range of 1,000 arrows if that would, you know, be a situation that would somehow come up. So I'm just going to sack my Giratina, go into Lucario, and click Bullet Punch. And this is the point where I didn't exactly know what his Arceus form is, but I knew it would be some kind of offensive form, and it turns out he was E-Killer, and E-Killer just won at this point. I'm not even going to bother save Lucario on the obvious Jolly Earthquake. I go Ho-Oh, and it turns out he's actually not Stone Edge, and I get fully paralyzed. And this is kind of just the worst insult to injury, because if I had pulled off a Sacred Fire Burn there, I could have still won. I would have been free to recover, and then once his Arceus isn't a problem, it merely becomes a game of, can I get Xerneas in on the Zygarde? It is a 50-50, like Xerneas beats Zygarde, and Ho-Oh beats Lucario, but his Lucario beats my Xerneas, and his Zygarde beats my Ho-Oh, so it is like one of those 50-50 situations, but the difference is, I can switch into everything he has. He can't switch into Xerneas. So basically what happened is, I just needed to pull off a Sacred Fire burn there, and I'm not even going to get the chance, I just get fully paralyzed. So yeah, I definitely can't be too happy with this game, because the full para on Ho-Oh and then getting like 2 different full paras on Ho-Oh cost me the game. I still think overall it was in his favor to win, which is, I'm not really like that mad at all, but you have to acknowledge like where the game could have gone better was not getting caught off guard with fast Toxic Groudon. I could have just stayed in with Xerneas and Moonblasted it twice. It's not like he wasn't clicking Stealth Rock. Or just simply not getting fully paralyzed probably would have let me stay in the game to some degree, although he still just could have played it safer with E-Killer instead of, you know, trying to set up on a Ho-Oh. So in that scenario, he probably wouldn't have made the same plays. But getting into game 2, I'm going to bring this Darkrai team just because I like it, just because I think it's fun, and he brings this weird, memey hyper offense that I had seen him use in one other part of the tour games. I hadn't been scouting his replays, it's just that he's a friend, and I wanted to see his game to see how he's doing. And this matchup works well for me, because I know he's Z Geomancy Xerneas. I know that's a fact. And I have Primal Groudon and Magearna. So, if Magearna were to heart swap away the changes, then it would reverse sweep him. But I mean, what more could you possibly ask for, I guess is what I'm trying to say. This matchup really helps, because this team is built around Z Geomancy Xerneas, and I have a Magearna. And that's really excellent for me. I don't have a way to stop his Deoxys effectively, so I'm just going to lead Darkrai. It'll limit him to like Rocks and 1 Spike at best, so figure it's probably safe. He's going to Rock, so I'm just going to Dark Pulse, take him down to a Sash, and then I figure, well, I might as well click Sludge Bomb, it'll kill and will hit the possible Whimsicott, as he actually switches directly into Xerneas, I guess knowing that it wasn't going to do much else in this matchup, and that works great for me, you know, I get off all this damage. I am going to go directly into Groudon, because Magearna is actually useful for also stopping Yveltal, whereas Groudon is pretty much only useful for Xerneas. But he pulls a good double into his own Groudon. And at this point, I just want Ments to weaken this thing. I do have Scarf Lunala and my Arceus Water to sort of take advantage of it, but first I just need Salamence to weaken this thing. And what's going to happen is I am going to get a crit. Without the crit, he would have just barely avoided the 2 KO. And he would have been in range of Arceus Water's Ice Beam, which could have taken a single hit, or Lunala. I don't know if it's faster, I probably wouldn't have gone Lunala. Or Darkrai's Sucker Punch. I am Sucker Punch Darkrai, I will fully admit it right now. It is an awesome, awesome set for catching off guard those Gengars and Deoxys attacks. Nah, it's more of a meme, but like I said, I've been using some meme sets and whatever. So, point is, I get a crit, which makes it now a 2-hit KO instead, as he Rock Polishes, and I can take 1 Stone Edge, which is why it's pretty safe going to Ments. It turns out he doesn't have Stone Edge, he goes for Fire Punch, crits, and does about the same amount of damage Stone Edge would have done anyway, so that's whatever. I don't need to save Ments, so I'm just going to scout his Deoxys, as he doesn't spike or anything, he just goes right for Psycho Boost, which I didn't know he had. I assumed he had to have some attack to go into Ments, but I'm going to go right to Darkrai and try to nasty plot, because I figure, hey, if he's maybe going to spike or something. But he actually taunts, so I'm just going to have to take him out with Sludge Bomb. Don't really know how he taunted again, but probably didn't really make a difference. Goes E-Killer, as I am just going to straight throw out the Z-Power Black Hole Eclipse, which is Dark Pulse, just because it'll knock him into range of Scarf Lunala for sure, whereas unboosted Darkrai Dark Pulse is actually pretty weak in Ubers. Pretty damn weak. It's 80 base power move with nothing backing it up. But he is in range of Lunala, and I can just kill him with the Scarf Ice Beam, just in case he tries to save it. And at this point, if you look at his Pokemon, you look at my Pokemon, you look back at his Pokemon, no, I'm not gonna do that joke. Magearna beats everything. I could have gone right to it on Xerneas, but I'm gonna play more cautious versus the Yveltal, as he actually pulls the Z power straight up. And I didn't realize until I went to Groudon that for some reason I didn't have Roar. I thought I had Roar. I know I've had Roar in the past, but for whatever reason I just don't have it. I can't really explain why. But it doesn't matter. He doesn't even bother resting up, because if he did, then I could have gone to Magearna, Heart Swapped, and reverse swept him anyway. So Groudon's going to take care of the Xerneas, and at this point, look at his team, look at my team. Okay, we already did that joke. Magearna is going to take it out. I have to say, that's probably the worst unscripted joke I've ever done in my life. I never script replay, so unscripted should go without saying. But that is a seriously bad joke, and I apologize to anyone whose ears were offended for having to hear that. Anyway, I missed the Fleur Cannon. It doesn't really matter. This matchup was just definitely quite nice for me, and then the crit on Groudon, so that it didn't have the chance to 2k on Ments, definitely just put me for sure 100% like this is my game to win. So, you know, I'm not complaining. It's pretty nice for me. I think he doesn't even try to go Evolta. He just forfeits. So 1-1 versus a player who I will freely admit is better than me, and we're going to go into Game 3, and Game 3, I know that he's going to bring this team. I thought this team that I have is also having a pretty good matchup. I have also bringing the Psychic Terrain team all tour. It's pretty fun, it's pretty nice. The one thing I did change was that that Arceus form is ground, which is interesting because I don't have a Yveltal resist on the squad. I've never felt like it was overly necessary because it's just the hyper offensive way it plays out. But I did change my Arceus ground to Dragon Claw, which means that I have a very, very easy game plan here. Get up Stealth Rock, force him to weaken Giratina, and Arceus ground will win with Swords Dance Dragon Claw. It fucks his whole team. His Arceus form is Arceus Rock. Or alternately, get up Rocks. He doesn't remove them, and Deoxys' attack just goes to town on his team with Terraina. Either way, very, very good for me. So what happens is, I lead Excadrill, he leads Yveltal. I know he's faster and I know he has Taunt, but I also know that he knows that I know that he has Taunt. Yes, that's not supposed to be a joke, that's just true. And I figure he's probably going to go for the attack, and if he doesn't Taunt, well, I get to Rock Tomb and then Stealth Rock. And if he does Taunt, well, I get to Rock Tomb, do a shit ton of damage to this, weaken his Yveltal, and then I can maybe get up Rocks later. Plus, Yveltal is his only immunity to Psycho Boost, so having it dead would be nice. Plus, his Yveltal checks Salamence, and I don't want it to check Salamence. Everything is looking hunky-dory, and like I said, this matchup is great. And then he flinches me. And frankly, that flinch is just huge. I think I had an amazing matchup if I just had Rocks. If I just weakened Yveltal even, I did click Rock Tomb there. I can't say any better than, like, everything would have been completely perfect if I just had Stealth Rock up here, instead of just being straight up down an Excadrill with nothing else to show, with nothing to show for it. 20% on his Yveltal. This is huge, I can't overstate it, so what I'm going to do is play my ass off. So first I'm going to Nature's Madness with Tapu Lele, and then I figure, you know, I know he runs sub on this, or at least I'm reasonably certain, I don't think he'll just straight attack. I think my Ments is obvious, so I'm going to taunt as he goes Ferrothorn. Great, you know, Lele could have been Outcode, but it's not. So then I'm going to Nature's Madness, because I'm like, there's no way, he just doesn't predict anything. And yep, he goes Roxas, and I seriously have no better explanation other than I am trying my best to just play my ass off here. But ultimately, you know, I still don't have that much to show for it. Ho-Oh was pretty healthy after the Regenerator, so don't get much here. I can't go right to Deoxys because this just straight up dies to a Psycho Boost, and I didn't really think he can go Yveltal, but I didn't necessarily think he'd bother because I'm gonna get a kill in some way, shape, or form. He does go Yveltal. I'm now going to click Ice Beam as he decides to eat it up with Chansey. And I'm now going to click Superpower because not much wants to really take that. And he sacks his Chansey. And I'm just playing Deoxys very straight, you know, not really making any predictions. I was reasonably certain that at some point he would just let something die, either Chansey or Ferrothorn. As he lets it be Chansey. Ho-Oh now comes in, it can live a hit without terrain. As I go Pheromosa and he goes Roxas, and I swear, I didn't expect that. Going Pheromosa was just like, yeah, this is the least useful thing, and I don't want Mence weakened by Breakbird. I want him to kill me so that Mence gets a free Dragon Dance, because if Mence gets a free Dragon Dance, maybe I can, like, the plan is, if I go Pheromosa, he Brave Birds it. I go Salamence. If he's scared right into Roxas, I can Dragon Dance EQ, then 2 KOs him, as he fails to OHKO me with a Judgment because I'm a slightly bulkier Mence, and hey, that'd be great. But he goes Roxas, and I look like a god, and I didn't even intend that. I am the U-turn, though, as he makes a good play to stay in. The crit is going to help me. I will freely admit that, but you know what? Fuck that. He flinched me turn 1. Like, I would have been in a way better position if that didn't happen. He's already switching to Ho-Oh how many times? He is going to sack his Roxas here to my Psychic, so he doesn't have any way to beat DD Mence, but DD Mence also can't set up on anything, so it's kind of moot. He goes Yveltal and reveals that he's 252 speed timid, or not timid, because that would weaken Sucker Punch, but like naive, what the hell? He is no bulk Yveltal, unfortunately. I mean, there's no way he would sack it to Tapu Lele, I knew that, but like maybe if he went something else, I would have had the chance in Nature's Madness and then try to set up with Mence. But no, he is 252 speed Yveltal, not much I can do there. So, this right here, I go Deoxys, and I have a certain amount of turns to abuse Psychic Terrain. Excuse me for just pausing it again. You know, you can see the counter up top there. And I decide once again, I'm just going to play it as straight as they come. I'm not going to make a prediction, because eventually, you know, he'll make a few switches, I won't get a kill, and then eventually he'll leave something in. I just feel very safe doing that. It is all 50-50s. This is just the way I decided I would play the 50-50s this time. Obviously, I wouldn't even have to risk these 50-50s if fucking Rocks were up, because if Rocks were up, Deoxys would kill his entire team. I didn't even mention that earlier, I don't think. Like, I said if Rocks go up, then either Groundseus wins or something else wins. But if Rocks are up, Deoxys kills his entire team because he has no way to double around it. But, I mean, he would have had to sack something, go Ferrothorn, protect, sack something again. Like, it would have been a nightmare for him. But instead, what we're going to see is that as I decide to play it completely straight, he is going to have the opportunity to double around. I'm an Ice Beam. He is going to switch into Ho-Oh. It is very boring. I really want my kill right about now. He is going to go back to Yveltal. I really thought right there that he would leave Ho-Oh in. I honestly did. But he goes right back to Yveltal, and at this point, I don't know why I tried to switch it up. I had been playing the plate straight, and I honestly can't explain why I decided. It was the last turn that I canceled, and I clicked Psycho Boost instead. It was a really terrible option. Ultimately, it was a 50-50 anyway. But I do Psycho Boost instead, as Deoxys goes down, and that is basically going to seal my fate. If I had killed him, maybe I would have had a shot somehow, just because of how big of a threat Deoxys was to his team. But I'm going to go Pheromosa, and if I can weaken Yveltal, I really want it in range of Salamence's Double Edge, because that's what I thought would give me the best shot. Like, if I could then go to Salamence, Double Edge it, and then I can't kill Giratina, but if I can weaken it, and maybe, like, super crit it into Arceus' unboosted Dragon Claw range, then maybe I have a chance. Unfortunately, he gets a maximum damage roll with Sucker Punch. Well, it was barely, it was like 30% or something, if I remember correctly. But what's going to happen is, anyway, I go Mence, and he's actually faster than me, which made me realize that I thought one jump as far as he's wrong. That is outsped by Yveltal. And it turns out he was in double edge range anyway. I didn't have an ability to calc it because of the Aerolite nerf, but once that happens, this is basically game. He's going to make a crazy play right here. I can't really explain why. Go directly to Giratina. I'm pretty sure that straight up leech seeding was completely safe. But in theory, Giratina was also 100% safe, also, like, because either I'm Sword Stance and he's gonna get to do what he's about to do to me, or I'm Calm Mind and Ho-Oh wins anyway. So I made a Sword Stance. I am Dragon Claw, but because I had no opportunity to weaken the Giratina earlier, he can just burn me. And I can't break this team now. I'm going to make every play I possibly can, but it doesn't matter. It just straight up does not matter. Like, I know he's going to go Ferrothorn, so then I'll Sword Stance, and then I'll click Tectonic Rage and hope like I can crit him. Spoiler alert, I don't get the crit. He's going to take that. He's going to leech seed, and then all he has to do is protect, sack something, go back to Ferrothorn, protect, sack something, go back to Ferrothorn, protect. Very safe. So yeah, spoiler alert, I lost. Overall, I cannot be terribly happy just because I do feel like I was lucked out of the series. So obviously can't be too happy about that. But I don't particularly mind. I never had any aspirations to even get to semis of this tour. And I know part of that was using dumb teams and getting slightly lucky. But still, I had a boatload of fun. Like I said, Dontstealmypenguin is friend. He is friend. And I am happy for him that he is in finals because he's been trying to prove himself a bit in Ubers, and this has been, I think, overall an alright showing, although he hasn't really used many different teams or gotten any crazy wins against amazing players. As far as I remember, he hasn't had like any huge name wins, but still getting to finals is a good accomplishment. So I can't be mad at this. He helped me out in early rounds anyway. And as of right now, I don't know who the other finalist is going to be, but it's Dominatio versus a dude named Carpy. I have no idea who Carpy is, but Dominatio also gave me teams. I believe he gave me the second team I used. No, never mind. That was the Meteorna team, so I made that. I didn't quite remember, but he gave me teams I used in early rounds. So if it's two friends in finals, I can't really be mad about that. A very close series. I think this was overall good Ubers content. The one series I actually really tried. I had a lot of fun actually, so I might, be doing some more Uber stuff later. Seasonals are coming up, so I'll actually try there maybe. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed some real content from this channel. This channel that is not known for real content. And I'll see you all next time. Peace out.